I'm Chelsea.
And we are
Awesome Athletics.
Okay, so our company, Awesome Athletics, is a shoe company that focuses our efforts in the private label segment, and we want our shoes to be spread across the globe so that everyone is wearing Awesome Athletics, and we've started our efforts in the Latin America region, and our big focus is keeping our prices of our shoes low while still being corporately responsible and giving back to society. Mission is that we strive to provide consumers across the globe with stylish and aesthetically pleasing footwear at a low cost, and our vision to provide a wide variety of affordable styles for customers across the globe. We strive to be the best valuable company through efficient operations while exercising corporate social responsibility. Electrics, aesthetics, Awesome Athletics.
Our company keeps prices at least 5% below industry average to attract a broader group of customers, sell more products, and increase market share. As the industry average increased, we typically responded in kind. However, we were also mindful to keep prices below those of at least half of our competition. During production and distribution, we paid particular attention to not only our projected demand, but also the probability of competitor stockouts in each region, and adjust accordingly in an attempt to serve as many customers as possible. We also paid particular attention to advertising, determining the optimal cost to attract the greatest demand possible. Historically, we also maintained a low SKU rating to keep our production costs low. Over time, however, we raised the quality of our products in order to better compensate for rising prices and provide greater value to our customers. We gained a first mover advantage in the private label market by prioritizing private label market demand from the beginning. To best meet private label demand and dominate the market, we allocated all production capability remaining after brand label production to producing private label inventory. Just like in branded production, purchasing production facilities in each region helped cut distribution costs overall. In an effort to maintain a more constant annual production cost, we maintained a higher than minimum SKU rating. We continue to maintain our low pricing strategy in the private label markets. In recent years, however, due to disruptive competition, our offer prices were further discounted to maintain our dominant market share.
So this is our performance graph for total revenues in internet market, wholesale, and private label. Revenues increased in all three markets, and we did extremely well in the wholesale segment. Revenue goes from $314,000 in year 10 all the way to $915 in year 20, and that's an increase of 191. Internet segment goes from $90,000 in year 10 all the way until $393,000 in year 20. Even though in wholesale and internet market we kind of slowed down towards the end in year 20, but it's due to some conservative decision making. We are the very first company to tap into the private label. Our revenue goes from $27,000 in year 10 to $374,000 in year 20, and it does not seem to slow down at all. We have a big jump from year 19 to year 20. So we have a positive graph of EPS performance. Our highest EPS is 17.07 in year 18 and 19. We did have a big jump, however, from year 14 to year 16, which is the period that our company was at its peak. And it seems to slow down towards the end in year 20 due to intense competition and unstable economy. So as you can see, our return on equity graph shows some fluctuation. We have the highest ROE of 33.3% in year 15, and as stated before, we did extremely well from year 14 to year 16. So towards the end, our ROE decreased from year 18 to year 20. We invested more but just did not get the proportional amount of return back, so we did not meet investors' expectations.
Okay, so this is the graph for our annual credit rating, and we've had an A+ rating since the 13th year, which was pretty early on in the simulation, and we attribute this to our high ending cash after most years, and we didn't borrow a lot of money. We only did that one time to hire a celebrity, but when we did that, we borrowed with low defaulters and were able to pay it off, so it didn't affect our credit rating. Okay, so this is the chart for our year-end stock price, and as you can see, we went up until the 18th year, and then we started going down, so this is reflective of how well our business was doing overall, because we started to go up until the 18th year and then started decreasing. And we were best in the industry 4 out of 10 times, so years 11, 14, and 16, and 17, we did the best out of all the other teams. We've had a high image rating throughout the course of the simulation. This can be attributed to our corporate social responsibility and citizenship initiatives. Our team has invested in energy efficient initiatives, charitable contributions, ethics training and enforcement, improved work conditions, which includes the cafeteria, on-site child care facilities, improved ventilation, lighting, and safety. We did not invest in recycled boxes and packaging. We only did briefly, but we stopped that. We didn't see that it was that effective. And we didn't institute a supplier code of conduct, but it didn't really seem to affect us too much. And we also received the second place for the Corporate Responsibility Award for exemplary corporate citizenship 3 times in the years 16, 18, and 20.
So Awesome Athletics has always been in the top 3, and our closest competitors include Company E, D, and B. We have different competitors for different performing periods. So at the beginning, Company E won first place in year 12 and 13. They pursue the strategy of moderate price, average quality, and wide models. However, towards the end, we see that they aggressively increased their price, and they also invested a lot in celebrity endorsement, which we thought is a factor that gives them the boost. During year 14 and 15, Company D gained first and second place. They pursued the strategy of differentiation focus of high price, high quality, and limited models. Our company, on the other hand, we pursue a total different strategy of low price, low cost with wider availability, which we think that our strategy outcompeted Company D. We did make a lot of revenues growth from year 14, 15 to 16. However, towards the end, we did have a very intense competition with Company B, Best Company. They also pursue the strategy of cost leadership of low price, wide variety, and average quality, which is very similar to ours. We were reducing price at a marginal rate to compete with each other, especially in private label, and it turned out to be a price war. So this is our global market share in 4 regions: Asia, Pacific, Europe, Africa, North America, and Latin America. So as you can see, our market share in internet sales and wholesales are pretty consistent throughout 4 regions. For private label, we did not invest in Europe, Africa, and Latin America for these years until we started buying more plant and we start producing in private label. That's why you see an increase in here. For Asia Pacific, from year 15, 16, B company started investing in private label and we were competing with them. That's why there's a decrease. However, towards the end, we gained back market share in private labels across 4 regions because we reduced our price a little to compete with Company B.
As we can see from this graph, our unit sales have been on an increasing trajectory in tandem with global demand. Our overall branded production sales show a significant increase in year 17. While internet sales began to stagnate in the final years, wholesale production steadily increased. We can also see private label sales stagnate around year 16, when Best Company started to aggressively market to the private label segment, until our final year when we managed to significantly outbid the competition and recapture a majority share in every region.
So how do we compete with our competitors in such a intense competition? There are a few things that we like to consider. First, we obviously want to fund more celebrity endorsements, and we would like to consider trade-offs to cut costs as well as maintaining a stable low price. We would like to find optimal method for reducing reject rate, and lastly, continue aggressive low pricing campaign in private label.
So in recent years, we suffered from a stagnating EPS. As we implement an updated strategy, we aim to increase our current EPS by 25% over the next 2 years. In the past, we've also struggled to maintain ROE growth. With our renewed focus on maintaining our investments, we are striving to achieve a 20% increase in our current ROE over the next 2 years. Our goal is to increase stock price by 10% over the next 2 years, taking into account any possible repercussions of focusing on controlling costs. With our minimal usage of loans and early payback, we're also confident we can maintain our A+ credit rating going forward. And in the next few years, we would like to achieve a 100 image rating by pursuing the CSR initiatives.
So our company could have focused on celebrity endorsements better. Our company only invested in a celebrity one time, but other companies, spent a lot of money on celebrity endorsements, and it seemed to help them out. Since we performed well without a lot of money being spent on celebrities, we don't necessarily regret not spending more on them. Using one could have gave us the extra push to beat Team B. So if we were given the option to start over, we would have started investing in celebrities earlier on in the competition, because a problem that we did face was all of the more expensive celebrities being taken before we were given the opportunity to, but we didn't want to invest in the lower level ones.
We like to be bolder and take more risks. Riskier options sometimes tend to generate greater revenues. We could perhaps borrow more money to fund celebrity endorsement, or we could buy more space to increase productions and continue to emphasize in private label.
In the beginning, we started with a low price, low cost, average quality model. Over time, though, we started to see that we were pursuing more of a higher quality and higher cost model. Perhaps if we were to start over, we would pursue one solid strategy from the beginning to the end, and perhaps we would have seen different results.
If our company was a real-world company, the first thing that we would do is acknowledge cultural differences. Our team had a large stake in the Latin America market. In the real world, we would have to understand how to conduct business there as well as anywhere else that we wanted to go. So in Latin America, people like to talk about their families and lives before getting down to business, whereas in the US, people get straight down to business, so it's important to understand what's valued in different cultures, because we could avoid increasing our sales if we accidentally offend a different culture by ignoring what's important to them. So the simulation doesn't really allow for a lot of creativity in the marketing department. It allows co-managers to choose where and how much they want to advertise, but it doesn't allow for any differentiation strategies in terms of positioning in specific target markets. Particularly social media marketing we would like to focus on if this was a real world company. So if we could invest in our presence on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc., because they play a huge role in business today, which we weren't given the opportunity to take advantage of. It would have been interesting to track the analytics behind those platforms to see who our users are, where they're coming from, and what we should focus on as a company based on what our customers want. So with that being said about our customers, we wish that we could also focus on customer service more. We don't get much feedback from our customers as to how we're doing with our products and services. Some companies thrive off of their customer service strategy, like for example the shoe company Zappos. They pride themselves in their customer service, and it may be one of the reasons why their company is so successful, so it would have been interesting to see how this played out if it was a factor in the real simulation. With customer service, we could acquire loyal customers, and this brings up the 80-20 rule, so that 80% of sales come from 20% of a business's customers. Therefore, creating loyal customers is very beneficial to a company, and it would save us a lot of costs in the end. We also wish that we could have had the choice to negotiate with our suppliers. This would have helped us cut costs and find the best value for the cheapest cost.
Thank you for watching! If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave it in the discussion board. And once again, we are Awesome Athletics, Electric Aesthetics.